I accepted a challenge, and ever since, a 30-year-old secret is engraved in my lineage. The dare? A fleeting, forbidden kiss with a stranger. Just once. No one anticipated I would do it. Not my female companions at the bar, nor the young, daring man I kissed, Shane. Least of all my husband back home in our Indiana house, nestled within its 2 bedrooms. However, I did follow through. He was younger, brash, arousing in that clandestine way women often only speak of, never truly pursuing. But the kiss was not the end for me. I sought him out again and again, concocting excuses to see him. Until one fateful day, I stood before a positive pregnancy test in a bathroom stall. At 30 years old, married, established, routine-bound. Yet that kiss ignited an upheaval within me. And what unfolded afterward? That chapter has remained unspoken until now. Here I am, expressing it for the first time. Before I proceed, I would like to extend my gratitude to each and every one of you who have chosen to subscribe to this channel. Your backing is invaluable. To our newly arriving and recurring viewers yet to subscribe, thank you immensely, and I eagerly anticipate your click on that subscribe button. It's what powers and energizes this channel, enabling its continuation and growth. Don't forget to like, share, and express your feelings in the comments below. I want to know how this tale affected you. Now let's go back to the start. My name is Barbara. I am 60 now, but this story occurred when I was 30. Married to a man named Daniel. Daniel wasn't a bad man. He provided, and he came home every night. However, love, excitement, and laughter had long since faded away. My friends knew it, which is why we organized the night out. Just us women, wine, music, laughter, playing games as if we were still in college. The dare then arrived. Linda, my friend, chuckled. Barbara, go kiss the man at the bar. The one in the black leather jacket. The one who keeps looking over here. I could have declined. I could have dismissed it. An inner turmoil stirred within me. Possibly the effects of wine or years of being unnoticed. I approached him and kissed him unexpectedly. He seemed startled, but then he smiled. He moved closer. His response was not terrible, he said, hinting at a potential future encounter. I chuckled, returned to my table, and attempted to push it aside. However, I couldn't shake off that moment. A week later, I intentionally went back to the same bar alone. There he was, as if he had been anticipating me. We conversed. He was 28, single, a mechanic, and exuded rugged confidence. He complimented me in ways Daniel hadn't for years. He listened, he joked, and made me feel vibrant. The following weeks were a haze of secret rendezvous and guilty pleasure. I deceived Daniel, fabricated errands, deleted messages, and didn't sleep with Shane instantly. Yet the tension escalated with each encounter, until it felt like leaping off a cliff. No safety net. Weeks passed, then I missed my period. Initially, I attributed it to stress. I convinced myself it was just a figment of my imagination. But a quiet voice within echoed an unpalatable reality. One morning, I shut the bathroom door and conducted a test. Positive. I crumpled to the floor, my fingers trembling against the cold tiles. Daniel underwent vasectomy 5 years prior. There was no ambiguity regarding the paternity. And that's when my torment truly started. I remained seated on the bathroom floor for what seemed like endless hours, numb, queasy, and petrified. The small pink plus sign felt like a wrecking ball, smashing through the life I had laboriously constructed over years. I was 30 years old. Married to a man I had trusted for almost a decade. Yet there I was, carrying another man's child. Initially, I didn't inform Shane. I couldn't. I ignored his calls for days. I canceled our plans. I feigned illness and stayed in bed, with Daniel believing I had the flu. He even brought me soup. The individual who I'd deceived stood by my bed and gently caressed my brow as I silently trembled with anxiety, struggling to devise a course of action. Yet the weight of my guilt grew heavier with each ticking day. One night, as Daniel read the paper, the lamp's light bathed his thinning hair in a comforting glow. And I pondered, what sort of woman betrays a good man? Abortion crossed my mind. I understand this may offend some, but I was desperate, terrified. For a brief moment, I thought ending it would expunge the error. Yet I could not bring myself to do so. Not out of bravery or strength. Instead, because I knew I wouldn't be able to face myself again. So I did what cowardly people often do. Elite. I informed Daniel that I was pregnant. He blinked, his countenance paled, and he stared at me with perplexity. But you recall Barbara, he said slowly. You know about the procedure. I feigned surprise. I suggested it might have malfunctioned. Although rare, it's not impossible. Miracles do happen, I added. He looked at me, uncertain. Silence ensued. Then he rose and departed to the porch, staying there for a prolonged period. He didn't bring up the matter again afterwards. However, I could sense an unrest within him. A few days later, Shane appeared outside the grocery store where I was part-time employed. He stood casually by his truck as if the world hadn't shifted. I revealed everything to him. He fell quiet, then gazed at me and said, I want to aid you. I will be present. Whatever you require. Yet this wasn't what I sought. I yearned for the events to remain unwritten. To reverse the kiss, the lie, the test. However, life doesn't bestow erasers. It delivers consequences. I attempted to sever ties with Shane afterwards. For everyone's well-being. Yet he began to leave messages on my car's windshield. He sought involvement. Then one day, a note that wasn't on my windshield was found. It was on Daniel's nightstand, open. Daniel remained silent about the note. Neither that night nor the following morning, nor even weeks later. His demeanor transformed, coldness replaced warmth, and his gaze toward me shifted. Not with suspicion but distance, as if choosing to ignore our connection. Shane's brief note was blunt. You don't have to go through this alone. It's also my child. My secret, my guilt, laid out starkly on Daniel's nightstand. I anticipated an argument, a packed suitcase, demands for the truth. Yet these never materialized. Instead, he concealed it, as did I. We continued our life together, acting like two unacquainted individuals sharing a home. I feigned belief that the child was his. He pretended not to notice the growing rifts in our marriage, evident through each ultrasound photo on the fridge. Our son's birth revealed Shane within Daniel. In the shape of his eyes, his facial structure, and the way he wailed with raw emotion. Daniel cradled him, kissed his forehead, but never uttered the words, "He looks like me." Because it wasn't true. The subsequent years were weighted down by the unspoken tension. Peaceful. We brought up Michael, our son, together. Daniel never mistreated him. In fact, he was a better father than I ever imagined. Yet the distance between Daniel and me grew increasingly profound. We stopped marking anniversaries, we stopped physical affection, and we became mere cohabiting parents under one roof. Nothing more. I encountered Shane once again. It had been 5 years since Michael's birth. He entered a grocery store while I was arranging items on shelves. He appeared older, worn, exhausted. He inquired about Michael's health, to which I nodded. Then he spoke words that have stayed with me ever since. "Barbara, you didn't deceive me, but you lied to him, and to yourself." He departed after that, never to be seen again. Now 3 decades later, my son Michael has grown up, becoming a father himself. Recently, he posed a question I had long dreaded. "Mom, did Dad ever explain why I don't resemble him?" My blood ran cold, my hands shook. I looked into his eyes, so much like Shane's, and the truth yearned to break free. But I smiled, I lied once more. I mentioned he resembled my father, and a part of me faded away. Some truths won't stay hidden forever, and eventually, they will resurface. For now, I bear the burden of my decision. One dare, one kiss, one lie, and a lifetime of quietness. Thank you for listening to my tale. It may not be easy to hear, but it is genuine. If there's anything you glean from it, let it be this. Even trivial acts can have significant repercussions long after the moment has passed. Now, I want to know your thoughts. Would you have confessed? Could you endure a secret like that? Share in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps these stories thriving. Until next time, be cautious about the dares you accept.